The Lord is our shepherd, I shall not want. Him maketh I lie down in a green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water them. Him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I in the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea! Though I RASTA go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Who prepared a table before I in the presence of our enemy them. Who anointed I head with no oil. Me cup runneth over. Surely, goodness and mercy. I go follow I all the days of I Ivan. I go dwell in the house of the Lord God. Ja. Kadama we groma bea tela exad beer tana istalina ba shante. Our mouse of bulisa. I don't know what talk. It was clear for. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show them. And here we speak truth to power. I want to say thank you so much for joining us to speak truth to power. Yes, technical issues. Today we are not able to go live on TikTok because we are having some technical issues. We've been trying to sort this out all this while. That's why the show is beginning late today. But I want to send my apologies out there and I want to say thank you so much for joining us. Yes, the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show them all. This is the voice of the Patriot. Now here we don't criticize. But if we must criticize, we'll do it on one condition. And this condition is only to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. Yes, the Black Pot, a.k.a. where we speak truth to power. Today we have a number of issues to look at as usual, and we're going to be as snappy as possible. First story, my youth. Run it up. Sir David Adjaye caught again in Thievery. Sir David Adjaye caught again in Thievery. Oh my God. How many of us know who David Adjaye is? How many of us know who Sir David Adjaye is? Sir David Adjaye is an architect. Sir David Adjaye is a man who has been in the Ghanaian news reel for some time now, in the name of the cathedral. Do we have a photo of Sir David Adjaye? I would like to see the photograph. Please put it up. Now, this is the man. He's Ghanaian and British at the same time. Dual citizenship. I do not know if he has renounced his Ghanaian citizenship yet or not. These people are more British than Ghanaian. My brother, my sister. His father was a minister in the era of Kwame Nkrumah. So he was busy moving around. In fact, he was a diplomat. He was an ambassador. And they traveled all the way through Syria. They went all through Tanzania. My brother, my sister. And when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown, his father decided to stay outside the shores of this nation, probably in exile. This man here is Sir David Adjaye. He's one of the best architects we have in the whole world. He's designed some of the best designs we have seen in the world of architecture. And we took the opportunity to go through his works some time ago on this platform. Today we are going to spare you all that headache. But this is a renowned architect. His name is Sir David Adjaye. Why, sir? Because he's been knighted by the Queen of England. David Adjaye was caught in the controversy of the cathedral, the so-called National Cathedral. He was the one who got all the hefty cash to be able to design the cathedral that you saw a few seconds ago. Bring it back. This is the cathedral. He designed this. The president promised God, his God, the God of Israel, that if he made him president of this country called Ghana, he will build him a house, a monastery, a temple, a synagogue. And he decided to call it the National Cathedral. He went all the way to Israel and brought a rock to form the foundation of the cathedral, maybe on the advice of his prophets. At the time, it was Reverend Owusu Bempah. In no time, the president's loyalty, spiritual royalty, and loyalty moved away from Reverend Owusu Bempah to another man in Kumasi by name Reverend Victor. My brother, my sister, Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng is now the president's prophet. And he takes a lot of spiritual advice from him, as we were told. Now, the interesting thing is this. A lot of Ghanaians came out bemoaning the situation that whilst we were going through COVID and struggling, the prophet who went into oblivion, into private places and prayed to God, asking God to make him president, now was trying to push the burden on the Ghanaian to pay for his promise to God. We became a ridicule to the whole world. The Jamaicans laughed at us. The Americans laughed at us. That a country that was so famished, so impoverished, they were going to build a cathedral. At a time, people were dying from COVID. But that was not all. When people were dying from COVID, find me the photograph of Reverend Kusi Boateng. There was a man, his other name was Kwabena. My brother, my sister, dual-faced man, two-faced man, Reverend Kusi Boateng. He was my mate at Tia Amade Secondary School, a schoolmate 2 years ahead of me. My brother, my sister, he was eating fat and enjoying fat from this government with his other name. Victor Kusi Boateng is a name everybody knows, but he had another name. Kwabena, 2 different mothers, 2 different dates of birth, and even the Ghanaian courts agreed with all of us that that was criminal. A man with 2 different identities must be a criminal. As to whether they have decided to take action against him or not, we all can see he's still walking free and prophesying. Victor Kusi Boateng is the man. That's it. And this man used to be the secretary, and he's still the secretary of the board of directors of the so-called National Cathedral. With his other name, he was able to get a lot of hefty contracts from the government, because this is the prophet of the president of the Republic of Ghana. But God was so angry with us, he refused to make the cathedral happen. And you know what happened? The cathedral now is the most expensive empty hole in the world. It's just a mere hole. Ghanaians came up, stood against it. No matter how much this prophet prayed and fasted, God said, no, it will not happen. You people have not been fair to your people. And as it stands right now, this president will leave office with that huge hole still there. Ghanaians will be smart enough not to vote his party back into power. So they will continue with the building of that dirty cathedral as designed by Sir David Adjaye, knighted by the Queen of England. Sir David Adjaye, come here, my youth. Now, Sir David Adjaye ran into problems right after taking so much cash from the people of Ghana. He said he actually gave Ghanaians a discount because he has his roots in this country. But that discount and the amount of money he took, Ghanaians still cried and said, wow, people are making money. Now, a few months after he took our money away to England, he was accused of rape and sexual abuse by a couple of ladies. So they decided to suspend him from some activities in England as to whether he has been cleared or not. In fact, it is for us both to find out. But this is Sir David Adjaye. Come here, my youth. Sir David Adjaye is one of the best architects in the world, and I'm proud of him in that regard. But I'm not proud of him in the sense of taking so much money from an impoverished country where he finds his roots. Today, Honorable Samuel Ablakwa Okujeto, who has been so busy exposing the rot in this government, and we pray he continues to expose rot no matter which government is in power. That is his photograph. He is a member of parliament for North Tongue. Recently, he carried a lot of hospital equipment and medicines to his people in that area. In fact, a hospital has been built and he's got there to give them a lot of equipment and some medicines. This is Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. The government in power tried in vain to pull him down and to get him to run away from his exposés. He was able to expose the president's useless travels around the country using the taxpayers' money. In 9 months, the president of Ghana traveled around using private jets, exorbitantly expensive private jets to the tune of more than 97 million Ghana cedis. One party cost 5 million Ghana cedis. One party. One party. A gathering. Come and eat. The presidency paid 5 million Ghana cedis. Do the conversion into American dollars. Okujeto Ablakwa dug deep and was able to expose this dirty government in power, headed by Nana Akufo-Addo, who wants his stooge, BAWUMIA, to become the next president so they can continue in this thievery. Hey, last night as I was preparing to go to bed, Okujeto Ablakwa released yet another expose, this time round hitting again on Sir David Adjaye. And he himself said he's shocked. On his X account, he wrote, "Run it, my youth." And you can see, latest intercepted payment vouchers reveal how David Adjaye was paid an incredible 32.07 million Ghana cedis on February 18, 2021, 3 years ago, just for opening bids and interviewing contractors for Akufo-Addo's sleazy National Cathedral project. What that means is he will sit down and bids will be opened for people to come, contractors. How much? We want you to do A, B, C, D. How much will you charge? Let's compare all the prices, all the costs. That is what is called bidding. We will look at your competence as well. For sitting down to engage contractors, they paid him 32.07 million Ghana cedis. Architects of considerable renown and project management experts I have engaged are in total shock. Total shock. I can't wait for Judgment Day after 7th December 2024. This is another reason why I am in total agreement with incoming President John Dramani Mahama that if we deal ruthlessly with blatant corruption and reckless dissipation of state resources, such as the National Cathedral haste, we can comfortably fund the NDC's no-fee stress policy of paying. No fees, listen, no fees stress policy of paying admission fees for first-year tertiary students. He ended by saying corruption and state capture shall surely be defeated. And I want to see that defeated. For God and country, Ghana first. And then he slapped us with the receipts, the voucher. They paid Sir David Adjaye for coming to sit for a couple of hours to interview contractors who wanted to build the National Cathedral. And he went back to England with over 32 million Ghana cedis intact from our coffers. Sir David Adjaye, bring him here. Sir David Adjaye. What's your conscience like? How do you feel? Do you feel good? Are you okay? Such a country that is so hemorrhaged, a country like this that is suffering, a country that ran to the IMF and the World Bank because we were so poor to collect money and come and give you a huge chunk of it. How do you feel? Taking this money. Do you consider yourself true Ghanaian? Couldn't you have done this for free, even if it was worth doing? At least to say that, listen, my father served the Nkrumah government well. It's time for me to be able to do this at least for my country and my people. You took this amount of money, left the shores of this country, and you are living fat on that. And your excuse is that if it was another country, you would have charged more. Well, we leave all this to your conscience. Bring me the photograph of Nana Akufo-Addo if you have it. Now, Mr. President, I stand on behalf of our ancestors. And I want to say that you are the biggest disappointment this nation has ever had. Mr. President, dash this photo away, please. Mr. President, with all love and respect, I want to speak to you. How do you feel knowing very well that you have dissipated our money like this? Thrown away our cash like this? 32 million American, I beg your pardon, Ghana cedis plus you gave out to somebody who sat down to interview contractors. At the end of the day, this project is still in limbo. We leave all this to your conscience. Bring Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa here. Now, my brother, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, I will need you to continue with these exposés, even when your party comes into power. If we are truly able to fight corruption, posterity will judge us smiling. If we don't, like the Nana Akufo-Addo government that has been so rotten deep in corruption, Satan will be our best friend in posterity. This is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. And in Black Rasta, next story, my youth. And come here. The next story I want to look at is here. It says the gospel according to Gabby. Who is Gabby? The gospel according to Gabby. And I need you to be smart, to be sharp, to be snappy. This is Gabby Asare Ochredako. He's the pseudo prime minister of the Republic of Ghana. He's a smart guy. He says he's not a politician, or better still, if he is, he's tired of politics and he wants to retire and do something else. He has established some wonderful businesses in Guyana and beyond. And I applaud him for that. He says he's a Pan-Africanist. He was born in Chelsea, in England, my brother. And in Chelsea, he has the British citizenship. He is not going to give it out for anything in the world. That is why he probably cannot hold any public position in his uncle's government. Does he need to? Not at all. He's still powerful. He can hire and fire anybody at all. In fact, he's the brain behind Sir David Adjaye. He brought Sir David Adjaye to Ghana because they were friends in England. And some of these people, they believe that people in England do better than some of us indigents. They were trained in England. They were born in England. So their mind is all British, 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 British. A lot of them. I don't know about Gabby. But yes, he brought Sir David Adjaye, who became a pest on our economy. Gabby is now in the Bible, and he wrote the gospel according to Gabby. He said, and I need you to come along, some interesting things. First, let's begin with Nana Akufo-Addo, his uncle. You all know him, right? Nana Akufo-Addo is the shortest president in the world. In fact, and we have gone into the Guinness Book of Records, it's just a way of describing him. I'm also a short man, but I'm a little taller than the President of the Republic of Ghana. At the time, the tallest president in the world was Abdou Diouf, Senegal. He passed on. But this is the shortest president in the whole wide world. Nana Akufo-Addo. Gabby has said something about his uncle, in whose regime he's the pseudo prime minister. Run it, my youth. They are getting out of power in a few days. So he says, Akufo-Addo's government has outperformed all governments in the health sector. Gabby Ochredako. These guys are crooks. NAPO said Nana Akufo-Addo has outperformed every other government in the education sector. He came back and said, Nana Akufo-Addo has outperformed every other government when it comes to infrastructure. Today, Gabby says health. So Nana Akufo-Addo has performed every other government. Shall we find out? A leading member of the governing New Patriotic Party. Come here, my youths. Gabby Ochredako has asserted that no government under the Fourth Republic can match the achievements of the Akufo-Addo government, especially in the health sector. He said Fourth Republic. At least he's been humble. NAPO said from Mukwame Nkrumah, Nana Addo is better than all of them, including Kwame Nkrumah. Such an arrogant bloke. Sometimes I wonder why blockheads, honestly, find their way into institutions of learning. And they are even awarded certificates of higher learning. How they made it, I honestly cannot tell. According to him, the current government has initiated and supervised the construction of massive physical infrastructure at a goal never seen in the country's history. Speaking on Channel 1 TV, monitored by Ghana Web, the legal practitioner stated that the achievement by the Akufo-Addo government is unmatched. Let me try and take a few sectors. Health. I can say boldly, based on numbers, that in the Fourth Republic, no government has been able to do the kind of things we have witnessed under Akufo-Addo's presidency. On 3, 4 fronts within the health sector alone, in terms of facilities, in terms of that amazing thing that former Kufuor built, the National Health Insurance Scheme, where he has taken it. In terms of personnel, look at the number of doctors employed over the last few years. I believe over 22,000 nurses, about 165,000 or so. That's what Gabby says. That's my way. My brother, sometimes it's good to go into some of these things. You were voted into power to be able to serve the people of Ghana. So if you are able to do all these things, we applaud you. But is it true? Now, when you talk about health, everybody's talking about Mahama. He's built so many hospitals around. Nana Addo, we are told, hasn't even built one hospital. But I have gone underground and I've realized that they have built some hospitals which are yet to be unveiled. And they want to unveil it in election year so that you can applaud them and get carried away to go and vote for them. Politicians are so good at that thing. They will let you suffer till the 11th hour when you're about to die. Then they come over with one carrot dangling in front of you. Please, if you want this carrot, you have to vote for me. They seem to be saying. The gospel, according to Gabby, Nana Addo has done better, at least in the health sector, than any other president in the Fourth Republic. From J.J. Rawlings all the way through Atta Mills, Kufuor, and the rest of them. My brother, your guess is as good as mine. But Gabby didn't only end with Nana Akufo-Addo. What did he also say? He said Ghanaians will acknowledge Akufo-Addo's achievement after he leaves office. That was the same thing Mahama said. When I leave office, you guys would acknowledge me and applaud me. And it came to pass, isn't it? Now, a lot of Ghanaians are clamoring. Mahama might not be the best candidate Ghanaians are looking for at this time, but they certainly would agree that Mahama's government was far better than Nana Akufo-Addo's government. So where are the men? Where are the honest, loyal men of our nation? We need to have people like Kwame Nkrumah. Mahama has the opportunity to write his name in the book of great men in Ghana. And I keep saying it. Should he become president, he should look at putting Ghana first. Not family, not friends, Ghana. When Ghana is put first, family and friends will benefit from that. It's like a cake. If you make it rich enough and put it in front of everybody, everybody would have a bit of it, and it would what? Nourish people, everybody. But when you decide to bake small pieces of cake and give to your family and friends, yes, they will be nourished, but the majority of the people will be famished. How many people understand this? It's the black pot. Listen to this, and this is breaking my head. I look at some of these things and I want to ask myself, are we okay? Gabby has spoken again. And he says, Kwame Nkrumah wanted to set up a restaurant when he arrived in Ghana. And this is Gabby talking. Run it by youth. A stalwart of the governing New Patriotic Party, the NPP, Gabby Adjaye, has disclosed what business Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, wanted to do when he arrived in Ghana before joining the struggle for independence. He said Kwame Nkrumah wanted to run an eatery and later set up a library. Before Nkrumah came to Ghana, there is a book, Nkrumah's Years Abroad. And I think some of the correspondence you can find out at the BAM library. Before he came to Ghana, there were letters that he had written to an uncle and his family members about looking for funds and what he wanted to do when he got to Ghana.